morning, everybody. So welcome back to your morning Pilates practice. Let's begin with just finding our lengthening posture. So standing, maybe looking into a mirror, aligning your shoulders with your pelvis, and remembering to unlock those knees and spread out through your feet. And sense that you can have your head really well balanced on the center of the spine there. So oftentimes when we're working, we've got forward head placement, or we push the neck forward and the jaw forward. So try to really center yourself comfortably so that the collarbones are also free and relaxed. All right, let's glide the shoulders up towards the ears. Hold into that contraction, so feel the blood flow as the muscles tighten upwards towards the ears, and then pull your shoulders back, feeling the scapulae squeeze together, and then glide those shoulders back down. So we're rolling up, squeezing back, pulling down, up and back, and gliding down. Relax the mouth, relax the face, relax the jaws. And then once you've found that rather strong circular patterning, like I say, unlock those knees, begin to roll backwards with a slightly faster pace. And you can let the elbows soften, or you can just let your arms dangle so that you are really feeding the movement into the shoulder joints themselves. And then float the arms out wide. Reset those feet, of course. Make sure you're centered and bring the arms across the body like a hug. And then open out. You can open the gaze towards the sky if you wish. Maybe look down to the earth, open, breathe. And then start to speed up if that's appropriate to you, so that you're crossing the arms and opening. Each arm crossing over the other arm, alternating. As the arms then come out to the sides, let's corkscrew the arms. We're going in alternating directions, so rolling the head of the arm bone at the shoulder. Sometimes I call this rolling pin arms. And then we lengthen the gaze and look left to the upturned palm and look right to the upturned palm. So you're rolling the arms from the center, rotating as far as you can without strain, and then beginning to glide over to the right and over to the left, lengthening side to side. Creating a little bit of connection from the shoulder girdle into the center of the body. Notice the shifting of your rib cages. And please avoid holding your breath. And then release, maybe give yourself a little wiggle, and then bring the arms into a cactus position. Again, this is where the mirrors really, really help. Soft with no weights, and just let the arms roll down. So it's a similar action to the previous in that you're finding external rotation of the shoulders, joint action, internal rotation. We're trying here to avoid compensation. So can you allow, so even if the movement comes kind of halfway, that is fine. Let yourself breathe. Relax the mouth and jaw. Maybe occasionally think on finding the movement just in your single joint, so that you can really connect to the mobilization there. This is all about the movement of the rotator cuff muscles. which help to stabilize the joint. And then let's release, and we're going to collect hand weights. And we're going to move into our areas of practice in Pilates that really help to strengthen the hips. So especially focusing on the glutes, the whole of the glute max medium min, which is the 3-layered triplanar muscles, largest muscle in the body. I'm going to start with our connecting again to the tripod of the feet, so big toe, little toe, inner heel, and then hinge back at the hips, coming into your Pilates chair position, and then just squeeze the muscles as you drive up to stand. Sometimes it's quite nice to do this, obviously, with the arms lengthening forward, and then drive your body up to stand. And then once you've come into the right position for you, you can obviously move faster. So we're inhaling to lower, exhaling to stand. Sitting into that high chair, the important thing is also that you get that lengthening through your spine. So try not to overarch your lumbar. All right, so probably you've got that reference position for the move. And now let's go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and repeat. 9, 8. Now, every time you drive your body to stand, you're hugging through the buttocks, you're making sure that those glute muscles activate, and you're feeling a light tone through the midline, so your felt sense is, and the body corset is on. Probably got about 5 more. And it's a great way to warm up the body as well. This slightly chilly winter's day, though we've got lovely sunshine out there, which is lovely. All right, let's hold steady. So keep holding those weights if you wish to use them. Feet are probably about shoulder wide. Sit back into the position and lengthen through the tail, long through the back neck, and tiny up and down moves. So little pulse movements. Low belly is in. Remember, when we're using these movements, we're just hinging back from the hips. You're focusing on the connection, the activation of the posterior chain, the glutes. You're going to feel it in your thighs as well, but no bouncing off those knees. Shoulders gliding down the back. Keep trying to stay focused. Sometimes I will have the wrong alignment because I'm looking at the camera, of course. Breathing and moving, tiny micro moves. And then let's add our single leg balance. So we're going to come into a cactus position on the arms and float the left knee away, standing strong through the right leg. Come back into that chair position. Alternate. So chair, and then float, and sit into that Pilates chair position and float. Cactus arms. Remember to breathe. Find the pace where you can adopt each of these positions with good alignment. And know that it's okay to wobble, just like I'm doing now and again. The important thing is to every time you standing single leg balance, is that you come back to that upright position. You also do not want the knees shooting forward over the toes. So while you want to keep that knee, hip and ankle in alignment, in a moving practice, you do want to make sure that you still adopt that correct form. Okay, release, give yourself a little ease out, standing well into your center. Let's just find a little pelvic circle, easing out through the pelvis. You might want to let your arms dangle. And this is a situation again where you want to make sure that the knees are really relaxed and soft, but you remain connected through all four corners of your feet. So let's come back into this arm position here. Steady through your feet, and then reach the arms overhead. Inhale, and as you exhale, pull all the way down towards the side waists. So float, inhale, exhale. This is our overhead shoulder press, moving into our elbow wing. So really glide those elbows in and down. Yeah, find that you keep a steady pace with your breath. And relaxing the jaws, making sure that you keep an eye on this sense of pulling arms through resistance, pushing and pulling through resistance. Feel those shoulder blades glide down the back and even connect the armpits down to the waist and hips as you corset the muscles in. All right, and then find yourself into your V stance position. So open through the pelvis, tailbone lengthens down. Bring the weights onto the shoulders or a little bit distance, and then we're opening out wide. And curl, and wide, and curl. And next time the arms come out wide, mini plie, widen out through the knees, sit into that high stool, squeeze and return. Sing well out through your feet. And it's kind of mini and skinny, so you don't have to sit too low. And then let's see if we can go in double time for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Bring the arms forward and open out. So again, get a feeling sense here of hugging through that midline. Little scapular squeeze as you open. And remaining strong, steady and stable through the legs. Relax the facial muscles, able to breathe. Try not to lose that plie position. Last 2. And then hug into the inside thighs. Draw up again through the zip. Reach the left arm over the ear and extend into your Pilates side reach or side bend. Lengthen the right arm away. Pause, breathe, connect, and draw yourself back to center. Shoulders have a little roll maybe. Reset your shoulders above the pelvis, spread out through the feet. Glide, float or extend right arm overhead. Slide into side bend. And reach the other arm a small distance away or further. No rotation on your pelvis. Pause, breathe. Pull back to center. Well done, shake it out. So we're coming back into that chair position. So sit back into your high stool and curl the arms long through the neck and reach back into tricep extend. Try and get the arms to be long and firm. And you can have your legs hugging together, or you can have them hip distance or shoulder wide apart. So again, when you sit into that Pilates chair position, find the right arrangement for your lower structures so that you maintain that postural alignment. And really concentrate. One of our Pilates principles, concentration, centering, precision, focus and flow. Flowing with the move, flowing with the breath. Keep going. Really want to find that moment when the muscles respond. So sometimes we'll take, 10 repetitions of a practice, and sometimes we can find a lot more. So you work into the best ability that you feel this morning. All right, let's restand. Come up into your standing position now again. Rotate the palms back. Press the arms back. Can be wide or narrow. Small circles. Small or medium. Feeling the chest open. Try not to let the weights pull you back. You've got to try, feel the shoulders are still aligned above the pelvis. Then moving into the other direction. Great, okay. Bring those weights back to your midline. And we move back into our chair position. We're moving into side balance now. So sitting in and releasing. All right, let's come forward with the arms. And release. So we'll return to the repeated squat position, Pilates chair. And then we're going to, as I just said, we're going to add in the side leg lift, the abduction. Sit and press and pull to stand. You reach those arms back as you lift the crown to the sky. Think on those glutes, just stabilizing those hips, and they are lifting you up to stand. Okay, as the arms then come back, reach the left leg out to the left. Step and sit, press and stand. Float the right heel away to your right. We're going to try and add those controlled pauses. Now, your range of motion is your own. So if you float the leg and it's quite low to the earth, that is absolutely fine. Can you notice the way that the muscles are lifting the leg outwards? So it's the strengthening in the hip abductor muscles that draw the leg out to the side. And you can start to speed up, or you can pause and hold for a little bit longer if that is with you today. If you're finding that you've got a good balancing energy today, set yourself that challenge, pausing and holding. Last two. Last one. And then restand. Centered hips below the pelvis, so centered feet, but hip wide below the pelvis. Float your arms forward. And let's go into a rotation. So keeping the right arm forward, open out through your left. Look over that left shoulder, spread out through the T-shaped arms, and squeeze back to center. Open out through the right. Keep the left arm forward. Look over your right shoulder, and release back to center. And then maybe just a little bit more dynamic. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, open, twist, exhale. Another way you can use this movement is by keeping the head forward and trying to keep your pelvis a little bit more centered so that you allow the movement to open up through your chest and create arm opening. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Let the arms come down by your sides. And then just some big arm circles. Inhaling, float the arms all the way overhead. Have a sense of full body stretch. Maybe even look up to the sky and draw the heart away from the pelvis. But recenter into your neutral spine. And then circle the arms back and down. One more like that. Big arm circles with the weights. Lengthening those side bodies. Think about whether you'd like to look up. Feel a sense of lengthening space in the front of the body. And then you come back to a neutral spine. Eyes on the horizon, faces forward. And circle the arms away and down. Fabulous. Okay, we're coming to the mat. And I'd like you to come and sit and carry your weights with you. And find your sit bones as you come down to your seated position. And at your choice, you can sit with your knees quite bent or softer bent. Draw the chin towards your chest, hollow the belly, and spine rolls forward, rounding your spine. Maybe just feeling like a comfortable stretch into your back. Relaxing the head and neck. And then roll up to sitting. Sitting tall, sit well. Now bring the fingertips onto your shoulders. Maybe draw the legs together. Make sure that you're sitting well. Maybe the feet are up towards the sky or the feet are soft. But find your neutral spine. And then we're going to move into seated rotation, turning to the left. Centering the body, breathe in. Exhale as you draw shoulders, ribs, and torso round to the right. Focusing on the breath. Please avoid holding the breath. And we're not going to move the hips. I want you to really, it's not like you're blocking movement, you're just staying focused on the sit bones grounded and the movement coming from the thoracic spine. Okay, and then come to center, reach your arms forward, think on whether you'd like to regather your arm weights. Hold them if you are holding the arm weights with the palms down or the palms in the candle position of holding the weights. And then scoop the tailbone in and under, hug the glutes, draw the sit bones towards the inside heels and start to find your seated roll back and pull the arms in towards the chest like a rowing action. And then glide back to sitting. Breathe in, exhale, rounding the spine, hollow scooping the navel in, Squeezing through the back line. Row the arms in and glide forward. Inhale, exhale. Breathing in to reset, lengthen the arms forward. We're not necessarily going into the full rounding at the top, so staying lengthened. And then curl, scoop the tail, squeeze the sit bones underneath you. Draw the arms, elbows bent, weights or hands coming towards the shoulders. Pause, hold, squeeze the legs, glide back to center. And then we're going to go into one more twist. So hold the weights into your heart center. Now you can turn rapidly here from a seated position. And that's invigorating for your body. Or we go into the slower move. So hugging the glutes again. Seated roll back. And take both arms over to the left. Squeeze, hold, breathe. And release. Curl in. Find that connection to those deep abdominals. Turn your body to the right. Weights coming round to the right or hands coming round to the right. And then again, twisting if you can to the left. Turning to the right. Turning to the left. Turning to the right. And then perhaps reset. And then come down to mat. Now with your feet pressing hip wide, glide down to mat. I'm going to use a series of shoulder bridges. So coming back into the energy of the glutes and the pelvic stability and the hips. So press your feet, all toes pressing in and down. Press the arms into the earth, back arms connected. Pelvic curl, tuck the tailbone. And then floating the hips into your shoulder bridge and walk the arms underneath you. Press out through all length of the arm bones and hold steady and connect to your breath. So we're going to send the knees forward and then start to lower and lift the hips. Okay, we're going to do 16 of these. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Hold at the top, and maybe just check in that you have that connection into the buttocks. Now, peel your left heel away, so push the ball of the left foot into the earth. And again, lower and lift for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. You've got that left heel rising. Now plant the left foot, peel the right heel away, relift the hips, press down through the arms. The option, as you lift and lower, connecting again to the posterior chain of strength, is that you float your arms up overhead with the weights. Lifting alone, got another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold steady, release the right foot, adjust your feet, and then peeling the spine down, articulating the spine from the upper, mid, and lower abdominals. And then take your arms out to the side in a T-shaped formation and float the knees above the hips. Squeeze the legs together. Inhale as you exhale. Draw the arms around to touch around the outer thighs, knees, or shins. Inhale, arms away from legs. Exhale, arms come wide, circle, touch the outer shins, knees, or thighs. Pilates double leg stretch. Squeeze those legs together. Curl and lift. You can always lay down on the in-breath, so the arms and legs come away from that midline. Remember, you've got to be very connected to the corset of muscles that stabilize your spine and stabilize the powerhouse. Inhale, exhale. Exhalation brings you into the calves position. You might even feel you want to bring those knees right in towards the face and even have a little bit of a lift of those hips. And then breathe in, arms away from legs. Exhale, curl. And then release your arms out again in a T shape. And just roll your legs left and right. You can always pop your feet down for your spine rolling and for your floor twisting. But remember that when the legs are above the mat, that will still involve more of your connection into the corset of the abdominal muscles. Okay, wonderful everyone. So let's plant the feet back down. Reset your midline, make sure you are fully centered on the mat and maybe bring the arms beside you for the first stage. And draw the right knee above the hip for single leg bridge. Flex out through the heel. Lift your hips high or level, so low, medium or high I should say. But connect to that center body and then release. Remember, you're focusing on that left knee, pressing forward and creating a level, smooth action through your single leg bridge. Now, after 6 or 8, hold at the top and then lengthen and bend for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold steady. Breathe. Find that extra strength in the left side hip, the left pelvic half, and then as you release down, let that right leg just stretch away from you, maybe stir the ankle, and if you want you can even lift up and draw that leg in towards you just for a little bit of light elongation on the hamstrings there. All right, let's try that move on the second side, everybody. So relax into your shoulder bridge, set the pelvis well away from the armpits so the whole length of your torso is represented as you're laying down. Press powerfully, activating from the right foot, knee and hip, and float the left knee above the hip. And then lifting hips, clean and precise, into your single leg bridge. And then you're lowering and lifting. Now again, if you're feeling stronger, you want to go into a different level of movement, you'll hold those weights overhead and try and maintain a stable, smooth action of lifting and lowering. It's not uncommon to get a crampy feeling in the back of the thigh, so you want to be really pressing through the right foot well and make sure you have a good the sort of correct distance for your bones of the right foot away from the sit bone. So after 6 or 8, can you stay steady with the practice? Make sure that pelvis is level and aligned, and then lengthen the left leg forward and back. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold, release pelvis gently, relax, maybe draw this leg in towards you a few times, lengthen, turn your ankle, And then bring the knees into the chest. And we're going to roll onto the left hip. So come to a half sit so that you can roll into what we would call a mermaid seated position. And bring the left arm out to the left at the diagonal. Squeeze the feet and ankles together, knees are stacked. And this is where we would use, of course, our side bend prep. So lifting up through the hips, squeezing those inner thighs together. And we can also use this movement with the forearm and elbow placed down at a diagonal. Do make sure that left shoulder is drawn out of the ear and the side waist is long and the abdominals are drawn in. So elbow down or arm down. And then we're going into oysters. So open that top knee thigh. Right hand on the hip. Try not to lean backwards. Keep the head in line. Open and close the thighs. Now, if being in side bend prep doesn't feel right for your body this morning, then simply lay down, cradle the head, and return to that oyster position. So we've got several options for this action. Try to get that felt sense of a squeeze hug around the outer hip. Just going back into the long arm version. Feet and ankles are connected. They're not glued together, but they are resting the right foot on top of the left. Okay, well done everyone. Come round onto your front body. Lace your fingers together, elbows below the shoulders, extend out through your legs, tucking the toes, and then rise up into your forearm plank. And that steady connection to all of those Pilates principles in that forearm plank. So toe knuckles below the ankles, legs reaching away in strength, finding a parallel body just hovering above the earth. Sometimes it's quite good just to lift the hips, curl the tail under, and reconnect to your lowest abdominals. And then if you're feeling like moving, bending into each leg. Keeping steady, bending one knee, pressing the ball of the foot or the heel of the foot to the sky, and trying to maintain a stable upper body. It's a little bit like a Pilates heel kick, but much more stronger in your forearm plank. Those that tried it, well done. Release down, bring the hands under your shoulders, and press the buttocks back towards the feet into your shell stretch. And let's come round into mermaid sitting on the other side. So you're going to fold your knees and have your heels approximately in line with your sit bones. First of all, maybe extend out through your right arm. Shoulder draws away from the ear. And then lift and lengthen away. You can bring that arm overhead if it suits your range of motion. Remember our other options are to lengthen the top leg away. That's always a nice addition. And then find that either you're seated or lying in side lying. So lengthen out through those sideways. Remember the side lying encourages you to stack. Whatever position you're in, left hip above right hip, left shoulder above right shoulder. Elbow pressing away, hips lifted as an option. And starting to pattern Pilates oysters, opening that top knee away. Once again, we're focusing on the stability and strength of the muscles surrounding the hip. Why do we want these strong hip muscles? Well, first of all, they help prevent low back pain or reduce it. Strength in the hip joints actually also can help with mobility. Because when the muscles are strong and responsive, they can function in all of their full roles. Really what we want is we want all of our muscles in our body to be healthy and buoyant so that we can live a better quality of life in our daily lives. So the range of motion doesn't have to be large. You want to keep noticing the muscles are opening out into external rotation in that left thigh. Okay, well done. Come round now onto all fours. Press the hands under the shoulders. Let's mobilize that spine with cat-cow. So glide the shoulders back, draw the tailbone up. Let the heart blossom forward. Allow breath to be felt in your body. And exhaling, hollow scoop the belly, rounding. And if you want, you can add a little extra challenge. So as you undulate your spine in those two beautiful directions into alternating extension and flexion, you can raise the knees just a few centimeters from the earth and be moving the spine while you're in a short plank. Remember that feeling of hugging the inner thighs together, keeping those knees parallel. And it's up to you if you want to let the knees come down and re-lengthen. Let's bring the hands towards the knees. Find a ragdoll position or your Pilates roll down. Release your head and neck. Press through the feet as you hollow scoop the belly. Unwind your spine to stand. And then roll out those shoulders.